Earlier, garage builder Patrick Bell was challenged to make a slimmed-down cafe racer that fits his oversized client.
So look at me, 6'3", long arms, long legs. I'm too big for the bike.
Building a cafe to fit this guy, that's gonna be a challenge.
After stripping the bike down to the essentials, Patrick is ready to modify this vintage Moto Guzzi.
The real foundation for that particular motorcycle is the frame. So the frame has to be addressed first. I needed the frame stop, I needed to strengthen the frame a little bit, and can't have that done without having Kim involved.
There she blows, Kim.
All right, Patrick.
What do you think?
Kim Williams is a great welder. He's an awesome TIG welder. He does work on just tons of motorcycles.
All right, what do you got for me today?
Well, this is a 1975 Moto Guzzi.
I needed a good frame stop. I needed something really secure on this bike because what kind of forks we use for it, and they're just monster forks on this thing.
Let's see. Come on, baby.
Gotta make it work.
Yeah, make it work now.
Wow. The challenge with these inverted front ends is they're very, very large, and their triple trees are so cumbersome they can hit tanks and things like that.
I think with the block welded up here in the top, then that'll do your center stop right there.
Right. Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, I think that'll work good.
I'm gonna get out of your way. That's what I'm gonna do.
I suggest you do, because sparks will fly. I think that'll make a good stop.
That little tiny piece is very crucial. It protects our tank.
That is beautiful.
I think it's gonna work good. Okay. Anytime? John?
We're out of here.
The frame itself is probably the smallest frame out there in vintage motorcycles. I had to build a subframe to make it taller because Olaf's so tall. We can cut a 1/4 inch square tube, and we'll build a nice, really strong subframe, put a neat little angle to it that'll match our tank. And that is our angle right there.
This is a unique challenge. This is almost like cafe racer reverse engineering, because you got to make a bike smaller and sleeker to be a cafe racer, but here's going to fit a big guy.
We need to go back 3 or 4 inches and up 3 or 4 inches.
That's going to be part of our subframe. Now, just do this about 16 more times, and we'll have a subframe.
Earlier, John Ryland's social media presence caught the attention of actress Katie Sackhoff for her very own cafe racer build.
The bike that John picked is an old dirt bike.
This right here.
He literally went in his backyard and was like, that'll do. It's fine.
Well, we got a good deal on it. I really wanted to do a big single-cylinder bike, and I don't want it to be something that's overly complicated. But we wanted it to be simple, but it's actually more complicated than we wanted it to be. I know how I want these things to look and sound and feel, but I didn't go to school for it. And if you don't do it right, it can break and somebody can get hurt. Oh, what's going on? What's up, Juan? All right, this is everything. We use a lot of shops around town. Chase Architectural, they've done the work to the swing arm. So we gotta clear the chain on about right here and about right there. We use Maxim machine when we do the front end swaps. We want that one put into this Ninja lower triple. Alrighty. It's just an extra level of confidence, you know, that I'm not putting anybody in danger. You know, anytime you're changing the front end on a motorcycle and the swing arm, you know you're going to run into some issues, but we've developed a system for doing a front end swap on pretty much any bike We want to make sure that it really handles well. All right, Greg, we got the swing arm back. See if we can get this thing done in an hour.
Hour? Things are always a challenge. One thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. But, you know, John especially lives for that challenge.
So go ahead and get the swing arm.
When you put a single-sided swing arm on a bike that wasn't built for that, it takes a lot of work to get the sprockets to line up, to get the suspension right.
We didn't think it was going to be easy, but it was there were a whole lot of things to figure out.
Just make sure the chain is over the front.
The chain has to go through here.
There you go.
We get a lot of emails if we do something really weird to a bike and people want to know if it just bolts on like that. Like, no, very politely say, no, there's actually a lot of work involved.
But, okay.
What else does this bike need?
Front wheel.
I'm famous for putting the tires on backwards.
Okay. All right, John, I'm going to tweak Katie while you're doing this bike. Give her a picture of it.
All right.
I don't build, you know, hands-on the motorcycles at all, but I'm in here sort of working parallel with those two. I'm kind of the secretary / garage girl, I guess you would say.
One of these days we'll have a nice big shop with air conditioning. All right, so we're good. So now we can get the motor.
There you go. Boom. That was easy. It's never gone that easy.
I'm kind of digging the red distressed paint.
It reminds me of an old fire hydrant.
People will look at stuff like a 30-year-old bike with modern suspension on it, and they'll be like, why did you spend that much time and money on this old bike? And when you could have just gone out and bought a new bike off the showroom floor. This is our fancy triple we got made at Maxim. Got a little logo on it. It's almost like if you have to answer the question, then there's no point in answering the question. The people that get what we're doing, they would never ask that question. We like to pretty much take everything off the bike that isn't necessary and leave that kind of raw Mad Max kind of look to it. I think that's a pretty classified style. So I always kind of fall in love with them at this stage and want them to stay that way, but it'll look really good when it's all powder coated and plated.
After the break.
He said, I can make a killer stainless exhaust for this bike. Well, have at it. That's definitely the nicest exhaust we have put on a bike.
Later in the show, will a gutsy cut of a perfectly good Guzzi tank pay off in the end?
Hey, hey, hey. Holy cow. Remember this, boy?
Earlier, John Ryland cut down his own version of a cafe racer for skeptical Hollywood actress Katie Sackhoff.
The bike that John picked is an old dirt bike.
We wanted it to be simple, but it's actually more complicated than we wanted it to be.
With a mock-up almost complete, a custom exhaust is next.
Chase Architectural built our exhaust.
So we'll bring the 5/8 together, to a 2-inch tube, make an S-curve to connect to this.
It'll tuck in there nicely.
Yep.
Seth saw the bike and he said, I can make a killer stainless exhaust for this bike. Well, have at it. Smile for the Facebook fans. Oh, very nice.
And this should tuck right up under here, under the seat. Get that on there like that. And look at that, man.
That's definitely the nicest exhaust we have put on a bike. And I hate to cover it up, but I have to. I'm gonna glue all this down and then do a couple turkey cutter cuts. Everyone should have one of these in their shop. Looking pretty good.
This bike has a separate regulator rectifier that gets rid of the excess electricity in the system, so if it's charging too much, The voltage regulator directs the electricity. This absorbs the excess electricity and turns it into heat. So if you can have it out in the open, where the air gets to it, it actually works better, so it cools off. And then John's mesh cover could go over top of that.
Yeah, I like it.
And it would still get air.
So this is roughly where it's going to go. I got to notch it out for these bolts. But now I just got to find some sheet, perforated sheet that will work. There's a lot of different kinds of sheet metal. You know, there's flat, just solid sheet. We use kind of a holy sheet it's a perforated metal, and I think that is the sheet to use. Is this? It just looks lightweight and it's easy to work with. The sheet is tight, yo. I don't know. I don't think there's any other sheet like it. Is that too plain for you?
No, it actually looks nice, man.
When this is done, we'll have it nickel plated. It'll sit recessed a little bit in there and cover up this rectifier regulator. This thing is a beast. I mean, it sits really low and it's just got this kind of aggressive sort of hooligan stance to it. As soon as we get the suspension dialed in, we want to really take it out and we want to make sure it's bulletproof. And I think it'll do a nice fat wheelie too.
This is going to be fun for a cafe racer because it doesn't need all this stuff on it. Gone!
Back in San Francisco, Patrick's Moto Guzzi mock-up continues as he struggles to make it fit a larger-than-life client.
Riding on the Moto Guzzi, I'm too big for the bike.
After increasing the seat height of the bike with a custom subframe, it's time to put this redesigned Guzzi back together.
Shock first.
Shock me, baby. Guzzis are a little bit more difficult, like any shaft-driven motorcycle, because you do add quite a bit of weight with all that mechanical business on the rear of it. So there's some things that have to stay, but we're going to eliminate everything else, including a lot of the wiring on it. We need something to start it, something to stop it. We need brakes to make it really stop. Instead of 4 pistons on the front that they used in the 70s, we're going to have 8 pistons. So it'll be no trouble slowing Olaf down. I don't care how big he is.
Hey, hey. Holy cow.
Remember this boy?
Yes.
Look at her
It
now.
didn't look like that last time I saw it.
Look at that. This paint is so beautiful. It's not mine, but it is my vision of what I see that bike, how it should be. But not everybody likes cafe racers. Not everybody likes this. Everybody has their different kind of model. Look at this seat. Nice. What I'm hoping is that it's exactly what he had in his mind already. This is so nice. I can't wait for him to ride it, you know. I want to see if he fits too.
After the break, Katie Sackhoff steps out of character to prove she's not just another wannabe rocker.
I will make this bike my bitch.
Later in the show,
I'm ready, buddy.
Grey Dog's freshly completed Moto Guzzi is handed over to test rider Ben Bostrom, who knows a thing or two about fast Italian bikes.
I was just watching the tack gauge creep up. Next thing I know, I'm at the end of the runway.
You know, Cafe Racer magazine, I get one question all the time. What's the best cafe racer road in America? Well, it needs certain things. It needs challenging curves. It needs smooth pavement. For one like that just outside LA, not a cop in sight.
I don't know what I'd have to tell anyone to convince them to ride this road. It's Mulholland Drive. I mean, look at it. It's what a motorcycle road should be. Mulholland Highway runs from PCH all the way through the Hollywood Hills. It's a 2-lane highway that is all twists, turns, and sweepers. Yeah, this is famous, man.
Pretty much 10, 15 miles that you don't have to stop. There's no stop signs, there's no intersections, so you get to the very bottom. So you can just pretty much get in your zone and concentrate on it.
You got everything from off camber, decreasing radius, to a little bit of straightaway, blind curves, super tight stuff.
I never really rode Mulholland before, and it's It's like a racetrack in the hillside. It's badass.
TT racer Wade Boyd once described having a motorcycle as like having a roller coaster that you control. This is the best roller coaster track in the world.
Earlier, John Ryland rebuilt an old Honda dirt bike into a cafe racer fit for Hollywood starlet Katie Sackhoff.
I wanted a motorcycle that rode differently than my Harley, and something that's just a bit smaller and zippy than a big Harley-Davidson motorcycle.
It's not a real big engine in it, but it sits really low, and it's just got this kind of aggressive sort of hooligan stance to it.
After putting the finishing touches on its creation, it's time to ship the bike cross-country to Katie out in Los Angeles.
Katie's been amazing in letting us do exactly what we want to do, so I hope she likes it.
I'm so excited.
Here it comes.
Excited.
There it is.
Awesome. Oh my God, are you kidding? Oh my God, it's amazing.
Sit on it. I want to see it.
Oh my God, I'm going to totally have to take it easy on this thing at first. Oh my God, this is so cool.
A little different from the Honda dirt bike that you saw in the pictures, but then the motor is stock to the bike. So we just kind of polished it out so you can see a little bit of the way it used to be.
This is one of the coolest things I've ever, dare I say, had between my legs. I think that what I like about this bike and having John build it was that I think that it fits in the middle of form and function. I'm a girl. I wear Louboutin heels. That is not function right there, unless your function is to make your ass look good, which sometimes it is. I mean, there's moments for everything, but I think this bike's gonna be great up in Angeles Crest. You can get tighter into the corners and have a little bit more fun and get a bit faster than you can on the Harley, and have the bike still look really badass.
Is your dirt bike a kickstart?
No.
It's not?
No.
We'll have to chat about that.
Really?
Yeah, you're gonna be the coolest person on the street, but you do have to kickstart it. So.
Oh my God, okay.
So, kickstarting lesson.
101?
Yeah. You don't want the clutch in, you want it in neutral, and you just want to get, just kind of start. You're just trying to stomp that thing as hard as you can. I'll catch it if it goes over.
Please.
All right. All right, that's all right. You compressed it.
Holy crap! This is gonna be crazy.
You'll get it.
Try to give it a full kick.
Huh? That was not bad.
Okay.
Let me kick it over once and just, because sometimes when you kick it a bunch of times, it'll compress it too much.
Okay, got it?
Yeah.
I'm totally getting it. I didn't really have an edit button. I think it's my manager's cross to bear with me is that I kind of just say whatever I want. I will make this bike my bitch. Thing ever. It's like, I mean, like, it's so light, it feels like a little dirt bike.
Yeah.
But it rides like this, like a cafe racer. It's perfect.
As soon as you got on it, you just looked very comfortable. You just rolling out of here. I was like, oh.
Well, it's because you listened to me when I said, please put my feet below me. Sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So cool. So cool.
In a world where no job goes untweeted, John reached out to the Hollywood riding scene. The Tonight Show's Jay Leno, an avid motorcyclist, just couldn't resist.
What size are those wheels, 16?
They're 17s.
No, nicely done.
It's very lightweight.
Have a seat on it,
Yeah,
man.
it's surprisingly light and nimble.
Boy, that's a nice bike, yeah. I'm not a chopper guy. I don't get why you make a bike slower, handle worse, and not stop as good. I don't understand it, you know. This is what I like. Really nice.
Katie Sackhoff loves her bike. Rode it all over. Jay just sat on it. Loved it. Can't get any better.
No, it looks great, you guys. Nice job. Nice job. And it's faster than that. Cool. Nicely done, guys. Thanks.
Earlier, Patrick Bell was challenged to make this 1975 Moto Guzzi fit his oversized client.
I already know how I fit on it.
Trying to get the ergonomics of this motorcycle correct is very difficult.
Hope you know what you're doing, buddy.
I had to build a subframe to make it taller. We did lots of measuring. The size of it kept growing, so I want to see if he fits too.
Olaf has been in the dark for so long, and I don't normally ever do that to anybody, but this is a big surprise.
Boy, the night before last, I woke up in a cold sweat because I kept dreaming about me riding the bike, but because I haven't seen the bike, it kept changing shape.
It's been many months and a lot of hard work, but here we are.
I think Olaf's reaction will be just speechless. There's nothing to it but to do it, so.
I'm ready. It should fit him. It certainly will be a lot better than it was for him. I'm ready, buddy. Oh my God. How did you do this? Unbelievable. It's not the same bike. It was overwhelming to see it. I always envisioned it being different, but that was like a crash course on it.
And we think you'll be able to sit on it, too.
I think you'll be able to fit. Get those feet up. Get those feet up. Let me see. Hey, it fits.
I was shocked. I mean, absolutely stunned. And my knees aren't out here because of the tank being so big. This is beautiful. Oh.
I got one last thing to show you. We're gonna turn it on. You'll see that there's no cables on this. This is running on a GPS signal. The communicator's in the back over there. It's bumping a signal to a satellite right now. You can do a digital mile per hour, and you have a top speed. You can see that I have gone to 92 miles an hour on your bike so far.
Wait, is that my heart rate? Even in my wildest fantasies, I didn't believe that it was going to be that beautiful. So Patrick, let's ride it.
Okay, I got one more surprise for you.
Come on.
We got it from here, big guy.
I mean, an airstrip with the Bostrom brothers. Does it get any better than that?
Probably my favorite part of the bike is just how smooth the motor is. You've got this 40-year-old motor that feels like a modern bike. Thanks, brother.
But man, I got a nice tailwind. It's time to let this baby breathe. And we rolled her on in top gear, and I got to listen to that motor hum, and I was just watching the tack gauge creep up. Next thing I know, I'm at the end of the runway. And I didn't really know how quick I went, but I saw well over a buck, and I go, this is going to be a good one.
So let's see how fast you went. If you really did the ton,
Holy smokes!
114?
114 miles an hour.
I'd say that's with a tailwind.
I think definitely it can do more than 114.
You're gonna enjoy this.
Excellent. I'll take it. 114, it's nice to know that it's been that fast. So, I don't need to at my age.
He can walk away knowing that he's got something special and it's a real one-off. So I'm glad that he's happy.
That big bike I rode in on the first day of shooting, boy, I'll tell you, it's going to be sitting in the garage compared to this thing. That bike is fabulous.